And straight from the meeting on this Sunday morning from the Kingdom Hall, Peggy! Welcome, Peggy! Straight from the meeting.
Good afternoon, Peggy. Just come back from the Kingdom Hall meeting on Sunday morning.
You've got a fabulous bust on you there, Peggy.
Oh, I know. I think it's an E.
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Oh, an F or a G, I don't mind. Double E. There's going to be all these arguments about my breast size.
Now, Peggy.
Go on. Could be. Yes.
Peggy, I say you've got a fabulous pair of buttocks on you as well.
Not bad for nearly 90.
No.
A cup of tea and a Mars bar every day.
And 3 meetings a week.
And 3 meetings a week at the Kingdom Hall.
Now, Peggy, have you had any work done?
Not lately. Probably 1979 might have been the last time. And even then I was nearly 60.
Now,
Yeah.
Peggy, speaking of surgery, some people might say that you've had a bit of a personality transplant, because most people know you as very conservative and very reserved and very serious and very, shall we say, frumpy. One of our viewers has used the word frumpy, and we've had other words used about you and your character. But you seem to have just suddenly, I don't know, come out of the closet. You seem to have, I don't know.
Suddenly gone like I'm 21 again.
Yeah, show us those dance moves again, Peggy.
Looks like you walked into a closet.
Singing in the rain. There we are.
Hey, Peggy, do you realise your pants hanging out?
I didn't know, but you should be looking. That's very
And you should be flashing yourself over like that.
Well, okay, you shouldn't be looking, but I suppose I shouldn't be showing, but I wasn't aware that I was. So I beg my pardons to everyone who may be offended.
Now, somebody's written into the studio,
Yes.
and they've said, well, this is actually your lounge, isn't it, Peggy?
Yes.
And somebody said you resemble somebody a bit like a Hell's Granny.
Where are you going to get those ideas from, I mean, honestly? I have Hell's Granny. Next you'll be telling me my Harley Davidson's outside in all polished like chrome or something.
No, not really, because I'll go and pinch it.
They're worth about £25,000. Yes.
Really?
And we've got another question from a viewer,
Yes.
who is saying, surely this is just not going to work. It's far too late. You've left it far too late, surely, to be launching a showbiz career, Peggy.
Well, I do get a few people telling me I've left it a touch too late to be a Disco Diva queen, but there is life in the old girl yet. I'm a bit more brittle than Britney Spears. I'm a bit more crumbly than Christina Aguilera, but there is life in the old girl yet.
And you're looking for a man, aren't you, Peggy?
Well, I was widowed a long time ago. My husband George was killed in the war.
What was that?
Well, War II. I wasn't around in World War I. I missed it by a few months.
Now, Peggy, we had a viewer saying they love your pleated skirt. Let's just have a look at the pleated skirt there.
Very fashionable in the late 1950s, I hasten to add.
I see you've taken your shoes off at the door.
I did. It's always polite to do that so you don't infest mud all over the carpet, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Peggy, you mentioned the word brittle.
Brittle.
Somebody said, well, keeping with the theme of brittleness, shouldn't you really just make do with instead of a real man, with a love doll now at your age? A blow-up man. Keeping with the theme of brittle.
Where do I go for that? Would it be Hamleys in London, in Regent Street? I know the shop. I used to go there when I was a little girl. My mum used to take me shopping there on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, Peggy, you made me go.
Now we've got some more. We've got yes. Sue's with us here today. She'd like
Have you
to.
got any grandchildren or great grandchildren?
I don't see a great deal of them. I had a few flings in about 1940. But yes, I think I did have a couple of long lost sons, but they haven't contacted me in recent years.
Peggy, how does life compare in 2017 with 1947?
Good gracious me. Very, very different. I was very young and gorgeous in those days. And I was quite active in my line of business. I still worked for the military then. Yeah. Some people might have called me the military.
But surely you weren't as busty then as you are now. I mean, you really are busty, aren't you now?
Oh yeah, they're still
very
there.
well endowed there.
Quite a sour puss, isn't you?
I am indeed. I get called a lot of names.
You?
Yes, yes, oh, yes, yes.
You're still very young for your age.
Can't stand your
It's very nice of you to say. Antiquity will be with me very soon, and I should be passing 100 in just over 2 years.
Yes.
You've
Now.
got all your properties about you as well.
Yes, I think you have to. Mineral water's good.
No, I've got anything to do with it.
Oh, don't tell me you do horrible things with mineral water.
Now, Peggy, you've suddenly, very recently, you've just become, very modern, really. People don't know you as such a modern person.
Well,
that you've become recently. Now, one of your favourite songs from the last 10 years is actually a very famous Lady Gaga number that most people, many people can probably guess what that'll be. And you're going to show us some of your dance moves in just a few moments.
I'll give you a snippet clue, okay?
Poker face.
That's
No.
enough.
No. Actually, no. Yes. We're going to have Love to Love You, Baby. It's one of your favourites from the 70s. You're a disco diva now, aren't you, Peggy?
Well, I do have the spirit of a disco diva queen, yes.
Yes. Now tell us one of your favourites from the 70s disco scene.
Love to Love You Baby by Donna Summer.
Ah, right. Excellent. So, you are going to show us some of your dance moves in just a second.
Of a Christmas tree, shouldn't I?
Go, girl, go, girl.
360 degrees.
Right, you got one belly there, don't you? Obviously, you put away that big tree up there. It's not your show, man.
What are the moves? Oh,
on, Peggy.
You want me to get on the floor and do press-ups, Stu? Is that what you want?
Oh, good grief.
Wow!
That looks great like that. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it.
Well,
You have big round applause for everybody!
that's it. Auntie Peggy.
I don't feel very well.
Really? Any particular reason?
You drive me around the bend. What do you say?
You'd like some...
So you've chosen Donna
You're going
Summer.
out then.
Tell us what this song from the 70s means to you. 1976, isn't it, Peggy? How old were you in
1975.
in 76?
In 1975, actually, I was 55.
So this song, I can see we've got some more dance moves coming. Just give us a few more, Peggy. And then we've got another question just come into the sent in for you.
Meet George Travolta?
That's the idea, Saturday Night Fever. Staying alive, which I am still trying to do.
Nice, nice.
You turn around. And I recommend to everybody, come along to the Kingdom Hall and tell them Peggy sent you. Be a Jehovah's Witness, it's the best thing in the world, it's true. Read Revelation, we've got a lovely futuristic promise. We're going to have a nice paradise world, and nothing gets brought.
Speaking of the world,
What did you come up to join the witness for in the first place?
Well, it was just a feeling of hope. I wanted to get away from my military past, because I've been in the army for many years, and I wanted to be a biblical Christian, nice, easygoing girl.
Yeah, but I find you Christians nasty people.
Come on, Joe. I can't cope. All right, back to the interviewer.
but Peggy, it looks like you're talking about this new.
First possible toast.
Oh, she was a land girl. Well, you're sitting on
I was a military girl.
military girl. No, a land girl.
Girl.
You're a land girl.
In what way were you land girl? What did you do?
What's your plan for them?
Well, I visited a few countries. I was like a corporal S, sergeant major S. I was a lieutenant for about 6 years. And I went up through the ranks. And I gave
How
orders.
did you go through the ranks?
Well, I worked very hard. You didn't
How
know,
did you go through the ranks?
me in my younger days.
I'm listening.
You were a little boy when
I'm
I was
listening.
serving.
You little dark horse, you.
Yeah.
But Peggy, you
Not
do.
enough to be your mother.
Somebody else,
too.
another viewer has
Be your
definitely.
grandmother, yes.
Another viewer has said you've definitely had. Peggy,
I was
you've,
the only one here in 1920. I mean, let's face it. You know.
you've definitely had a personality transplant because most people
Yeah.
know you as a very different person.
Good God. If you knew me in about 1959, 58, that sort of time, I was a hard bitch. But I've mellowed, and I'm a lovely lady now, ready for a joke. Yes.
There's one right next to me.
Right, okay, hello, joke.
Now,
Right.
now,
Any
Peggy,
more questions?
Peggy, we've had somebody's written in,
Yes.
emailed in just now, tweeted actually, and said, in your opinion, what has been the greatest invention in the 20th century for women?
Gracious me, now that is the question. Well, I think the principle of women's lib in 1973 was great, but if we're talking about technicalities, do you mean like machines or something? Is that what you... Well, I love sewing machines.
Well-
You know, I used to do a lot of stitching in the 60s. Oh, yes. Motherly me, stitching up clothes and all that.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, I love all
our
that.
viewers are admiring your pleated skirt quite a lot, actually.
Oh, yes, it belonged to my mother a long time ago. She'd be
Yeah,
about 130 now, you know. Oh, yes.
you've got very hairy arms as well.
Now, there's no need to be rude. Any more of that.
Give him a slap!
Go on, Peggy. I've just given him a smack for being rude about my hairy arm. That's a
No.
very personal question.
If we can just ask our sound engineer to turn the music up one more time. Show us what you can do. Show us what you can do with your stick on the dance floor.
Up it goes, up it goes!
Peggy, give me a minute. Look, you can look.
There's something wrong. Am I giving you that the wrong end? Am I?
Show us what you can do with that stick on the dance floor.
I don't sit on it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Peggy. Peggy, you're going to be joining us again very shortly, and we're going to talk about a couple more of your favourite songs. One is Poker Face, and the other one is one from the late 80s, another disco number. You're very eclectic with your years today.
Yes.
So when's the next meeting, Peggy?
Hopefully in about a month's time.
Oh, are you having some time off from the meetings?
Possibly, yes. I might go back late January and do another interview. Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Peggy?
Yes.
Peggy, if
Yeah.
you we're going to be joining you again in just a few moments. So everybody, don't forget to have a look at Peggy's next video coming up straight after this.
Hey! Hey!